Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well and happy wherever you are. It's a little bit kind of foggy and a bit of drizzle, but it's cozy. So I think it's a very good weather for talking about betrayal. We know there is something called betrayal, and we all have felt that is how we've been treated, or how somehow we felt that it related to us in one part of in our lives, sometime in our life, one way or another. So we want to talk about it a little bit in detail to understand what it is, what are the roots of it, what does it really mean, and should it affect us the way it does, and why, and how should we look at it. On that note, I want to start talking about, and mostly we're talking about the betrayal that we feel after a relationship breaks up. That's what we're focusing on. There are different kinds of betrayal, but this is mostly what we are intending to share in this discussion and conversation. So, you break up and you feel betrayed. Or in any other scenario, which mostly have the same roots but on different levels. Maybe it's not a breakup, something else, but you can maybe use this to understand what the roots of betrayal, or how you feel and you call it betrayal, what that feeling, what the roots of it is. So, if we want to understand that, we got to go a little bit back way, a few thousand years, when the caveman time. As you know, the caveman time, there was no laws, there was no police, there was no military, there was no protection of any kind, which could be the main reason for the lack of security that we all have today. Having them all here, in a way. But without going a little bit too deep in that, and that's a topic for another discussion, let's imagine years, 1,000 years ago, thousands and thousands of years ago, caveman was actually facing with different kinds of challenges. Challenges of somebody from a different parts of the jungle or different parts of the landscape appearing and trying to take their food or their women or whatever else that they could take away. And therefore, this particular person thought, hey, maybe I'd be stronger if I have another ally, if I have another person, so I can create that physical security. So, to survive and to protect themselves, they teamed up with another person. So now they feel a little bit physically secure. I'm more powerful. I've got another body. Together, we can defend ourselves. Now, the attackers, which could be either one of them, felt, oh, last time that we went to attack them, get their food or their women, we met with two people versus that guy who was one. So maybe I better find another guy. So they teamed up. Now there were two of them. So this second person became very important in creating a balance and creating a force that would give a physical security and psychological security, an idea in his mind that I can prevail now that I have another person. So he created a physical security by defending himself by being more than one, and then he created a psychological security in his mind at that time that now I'm able, because there are two of us, so I have more of a confidence in order to go and do my attack. So they attack, and because they're now 2 versus 2, they get some kind of a success. So the other guys, or whoever attacked the other one, the defender, felt, well, look, I better, find another person, because there were 2 of them. And the ones who were attacking felt like, well, this was difficult this time because it was even number again. I may be better to find another. So they became 3 on one side, and the other side got 3, and then they got 4, and they got 4 the other side. And before you know it, they were a clan, they were a tribe, they were a group. And with that number came a bigger power of destruction. To begin with, maybe the guy could have come and stole, I don't know, whatever they were eating those days. 1 beet or 1 potato, or if they didn't know what potato was, hadn't been invented yet, I don't know, 1 chicken or 1 baby dinosaur, whatever the hell it was that they were eating. But now that there are a bunch of them, a group of them, they can actually devastate the whole village. So, in every single one of the members of these groups from both sides became very important in order to create a devastating power, or the winning power, the advantage power, for them to do what they want, and for them to protect themselves, and for them to have psychological security that they are able to defend or attack and prevail. So, the numbers grew and devastation powers grew, which itself defeated that feeling of physical security, which defeated the feeling of psychological security. The mere fact of going after physical security ended up not allowing any psychological security to be realized. But in the meantime, that's again another subject for discussion, but in the meantime, every one of these people became very important part of this group, to function this group, the power of this group, and creating their physical security and psychological security. So when one of them, for one reason or another, would change his mind, not want to participate anymore, or was swayed or manipulated or forced or somehow moved to the other side, or to another tribe, or another group, or another clan, they felt the act of leaving that group, having been part of that group, the act of leaving it, it created a vacuum which was detrimental and dangerous, hazardous to the rest of the group. Now, whether that group was made out of 3 people or 1 person and there were 2, and then that second person left, the first person would feel as if now there's a chance for his devastation, and he would see that as the result of this other second member leaving. And if there were more people, then of course any member would, for whatever reason, they would have left the group, they would have created that void and vacuum, and the rest of the group would feel less secure, whether physically or psychologically. And that was the beginning of betrayal. That person is no longer with us. Not being with me creates hazard and danger for me physically, because the other tribes could attack my village anytime, or my group, and would of course also deny me from the psychological security that I was after it. Never mind that psychological security is defeated when the physical security is pursued. But so the roots of that betrayal, the feeling of danger, is still within the genes that has passed through thousands of years, has come to us. And now when we are in a relationship and the girlfriend leaves, or the boyfriend leaves, whatever your relationship is, you feel the same kind of a danger from that program, or that has been transferred through the genes to you, the feel of danger, lack of physical security, lack of cohesiveness and psychological security, and that makes you feel anxious, angry, and feel something that you call betrayal, as if this is those days and with such dangers are going to be facing you in more vicious way just because this person has left. So the roots of the fact that you become so devastated, so angry, so upset when your girlfriend or your boyfriend leaves you for another person, or for whatever reason change your mind, or it doesn't happen, and it's not just a regular mutually agreeable breakup, you label that, consider that as a betrayal. And the pain of it comes from thousands of years ago, because betrayal meant life and death, meant eating or not eating, meant keeping the food or not. And those days, it wasn't like going from, across the street and, buy it from, your favorite grocery store. You had to go and fight for it. You had to go hunt for it. You had to gather it. You had to protect it. All that was a very important thing. So each person leaving would be, its place and its effect would be felt strongly, and that was a pain and danger that would accompany that behavior or that act or that decision of the other person, member of the group. And of course, betrayal, therefore, today carries that same effects psychologically, is implanted in the consciousness, and we're conditioned to consider that as a danger, as a betrayal, with the consequences of that it had then, even though it doesn't have now, but you react to it as if it has. That's why it becomes so unbearable and so embarrassing to you, so angry to you, and gives you reasons for being rather apprehensive, anxious, depressed, concerned, worried, and all these, the rest of it. But when you realize that there's no such danger here, the person can leave and you can still go to Whole Foods or whatever it's like, you buy your food, and there's still police and everything for the protection and the laws that are there. So you don't really have to feel that devastated. But that is part of what you feel, betrayal. Now we're talking about relationship. We're not talking about family or this and that, so forth. That's all different, similar root, but different levels. And we're talking about these relationship things that it shouldn't bother you, because look, betrayal really, it's simplistically said, it's like if you're in a park and you're throwing a ball. You're throwing a tennis ball by hand, not playing tennis ball or a baseball. You're throwing it. Okay, a person throws it. The person has done the act of throwing the ball, and somehow this ball hits you. Well, you will say, you threw the ball, you hit me. Well, the person threw the ball, that's correct, but the ball hit you. The person who threw the ball did not necessarily want it to hit you, aim at you and hit you. He just wanted to throw the ball for the pleasure of the game, for the fact that he wanted to throw how far he can throw it. His intentions was to interact and negotiate with the ball, throw the ball. And his action in that, whatever happened to you, was the fact that he threw the ball. But the ball hit you. So, same thing with betrayal. The person who leaves you for her or his way of dealing with his or her life based on pain or pleasure. We all do things for pain and pleasure. The pleasure would tell that girl or that boy that it is more beneficial for you, or there will be more things or provisions for you if you go and live alone, or go and live with somebody else, or go and be partner with somebody else. That was the act of that girlfriend or that boyfriend. But the intention was not to hurt you, to betray you. The intention was to do their own bidding, what they wanted to do according to what their own psyche and consciousness is put together, what their needs are, what they feel it would serve them best, as everybody is trying to make this life as palatable and comfortable and whatever pleasurable as they see it for themselves. So the act of having left is because she or he wanted to make that change for his own benefit, but it was not meant or geared or focused on doing it to betray you. The act of betraying, the feeling of betraying, comes when she leaves, when he leaves. So her part in this whole thing was the fact that she decided to do something else, to go somewhere else, to be with somebody else, or to do something else, live somewhere else, but was not to betray you. The betrayal what you feel happened because she's no longer there for your pleasure, for your interest, for your benefit, and that is what the betrayal, what has brought the betrayal, not her, not him. So the ones who are actually feeling hurt or resentment toward the ex because you feel she betrayed me or he betrayed me, believe me, I don't think any one of them are as nasty as actually say, I'm having fun here, I'm really having a good relationship, but I'm going to leave just to diss this guy or this girl, just to betray him. There is no such thing. There is no such plan. Their purpose and intention of leaving or doing whatever it is they're doing is based on their own needs at that time and their own understanding of life and what it is that they see in their journey. And the betrayal happens like that ball. The girl threw the ball hit you. The girl left, you feel betrayed. The feeling of betrayed is not the intention of the girl or the boyfriend who left you. He just threw the ball. He wanted to throw the ball for see how far he can throw it, what's good for him or her. The fact that you feel betrayal is because of all the programs that are in your consciousness through the genes and through the history that we just talked about. So don't be so upset, don't be so devastated. Look at it like this and you'll understand, okay, it's not personal. It wasn't meant to target you. It wasn't meant to hurt you. Everybody's trying to look after themselves and see what's good for them, what brings more pleasure for them. So, and that's why they chose what they chose. I hope it gives you something to think about and not be so bothered and focused on the fact of I've been betrayed. And what is betrayal? Why should it be betrayal? Betrayal means nothing today in these sort of relationships so on. Nobody intends to betray the other one. They just threw the ball to see how far it goes. It just so happened to hit you. And what you feel, I don't think it's intentional. So, have a wonderful day or evening and hope to talk to you soon.